Hello, and I am Soul, and this is my TNA Wrestling Genesis review. That's right, the Genesis review. And quite frankly, I'm kind of confused, to be truthful, in one respect, because I don't know whether the Genesis is supposedly one of the big main cards, what they're supposed to have, or is it supposed to be one of the weekly shows, or what is it exactly? But I'll tell you one thing though, the Genesis was damn well good. I have to say that for sure. It was damn well good. So let's get straight into it, shall we? Okay, right at the top of the bat, Dixie Carter came out and then she congratulated Magnus for winning the world title from AJ Styles last week, because quite frankly that was an amazing match. I don't think, I mean, it wasn't amazing like between them two, but in terms of there's so many people, so and who knows what was going to go on in particular, because I didn't know who was going to win. Everybody was just fighting each other. It was just like, oh, so everybody's setting up for Dixie Carter to, you know, win the match against for Magnus, and it was good. It was good in that respect. So when they won that match, and he crowned himself. They've crowned him the undisputed champion due to clearly because I think they've ripped that off of WWE, the undisputed championship, because they had one silver type of title and a one golden type of title, and Magnus gave the one of the titles to Dixie, and it just looked so ridiculous but funny. And I have to say, it was good. It was good in that respect, because I have to say, Dixie, she's very working it very well in terms of her being the boss as such. And then later on, after they were talking, Dixie decided to bring out all her cronies with her, and she brought Bad News, Bobby Roode, and some other guys, and all the other wrestlers out there, EC3 as well, and then congratulated them all and going, oh, you've done a great job, we're a family, we're a good team, we're on the right team, and everything else. And then suddenly, I think that was his music, and Stinger's out there as usual. Stinger still got it, man. Stinger, after all these years, he's still got so much charisma. I have to say, he's still got the style, he's still got it all, he's still got the total package. And quite frankly, when you saw him at the top of the rafters again with the baseball bats, you just remember the old NWO days and think, my gosh, you still got it, dude, you still got it. And then he went on the mic, and quite frankly, on the mic he's damn well good, and he was saying, you haven't got no honor, Dixie. Before, that was the difference between you and I, is that we have honor and you don't. And quite frankly, look, and we're gonna finish you off. And Dixie went, who are we? And because there's only one of you. And then all the other wrestlers came out from the back, all the people who were missing from last week's show. Samoa Joe, whose supposed knee was broken, he came out of the back, and all the others came out of the back. And then in the end, what's his name, Rockstar Spud, Dixie left, because obviously something happened, because she's a boss, so she left, and she left Rockstar Spud in charge. And what did he do? He said, I'm gonna make a 12-man tag, and 12-man tag it was. I have to say, it was a very good, it was an okay average 12-man tag, with a lot of people just fighting each other. And Joseph Park saw blood and started beating up everybody like Incredible Hulk, and I think it very suits him very much so, because he looks like just your average Joe, and I think they're trying to build that type of look on him. You could clearly see that it wasn't real blood in his mouth, and he just started clotheslining everybody, and then Chris Daniels got submitted, I think it was by rear naked choke from Samoa Joe, and that was the end of the match. I have to say, Samoa Joe is a pretty good wrestler still. considering he's been there for a long time, and he's still got it. Who would have thought? But um, he hasn't evolved in terms of his style from what I saw him years ago. Still doing the same thing, but still he's still got some ability. There's no doubt about it. And then the next match came, which was Bubba Ray versus Mr. Anderson. And quite frankly, that was a great match. It wasn't too long as well. It was just right. They had your steel chairs in that match. You had your tables, and quite frankly, you had the steel guardrail as well that came out. Which, let's be honest, it's not the real steel guardrail. Because if it was, then everybody's back would be broken, because they landed on that so many times. I remember Bubba Ray doing a big splash and he landed on it, and he was face first and his arm was on it, and I've hit myself on one of them guardrails before, and just a simple smack on them rails, it hurts your bones. It goes straight to your bones. It doesn't there's no it doesn't go to your pain receptors. It just goes straight to your bones, and you feel this ache because it hits your bones. So clearly that wasn't the real steel guardrail. There's no doubt about that. You could tell as well, because Taz even said, "Oh my gosh, Bubba kicked one of the guardrails and it bent." With one kick, the guardrail's gonna bend. I don't think so. It keeps people away from the the ring, and one little kick is gonna bend it. Come on, who you kidding, man? But you know what? At least they're being innovative. I have to say that to TNA. You've got to admire them for that. They are basically trying to take it to the next level, and instead of just steel chairs and tables and ladders, they decided to add the steel guardrail, and which is good. I have to say, I admire that. It's very, very good. And then, out of nowhere, one of the best moves I thought was when Bubba Ray got punched in the cojones, in the nuts, as such, from Mr. Anderson, and Bubba makes that crazy face of his. It's priceless. If you could get a photo of that, that would just be priceless. That is an amazing one. And then Mr. Anderson basically did a rollover, put him on his shoulder and rolled over into the actual table. That was an awesome move. Completely. And then suddenly out of nowhere, Bubba Ray started to talk smack to Mr. Anderson about his family, and which really, I have to say, Bubba is such a good bad guy, but he really takes it far when he goes to people's family. He really goes to people's family, and it's like, it is scripted or is it not? Whatever it is, I'm sure they've come to some compromise, because he doesn't go too far. Because when he was talking smack, he had the lighter fluid in his hand, which he was going to, spray Mr. Anderson with it. Then suddenly, Mr. Anderson had the lighter fluid and he poured it on the table. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is gonna be good. I thought they were gonna light the damn table and powerbomb him through or something like that. I thought that was just gonna be ideal ending to the actual match. What happened? He turned around, Bubba kicked him in the stomach, spike power drived him, and that was the end of the match. That was a bit of a disappointment, but I have to say, overall, the match was entertaining, without a doubt. I have to say, Bubba Ray, he always brings it, and Mr. Anderson always brings it, which is great to see. Now, another thing which I find amazing is Earl Hebner is still around. And why is he not at WWE anymore? But I'm just shocked that he's still around and he's still wrestling matches at this day and age, and he's always angry, like he used to be in the old Attitude Era with Triple H. When Triple H used to push him, he used to push back. And it's the same thing. He's still getting angry at the same time. It's quite frankly, is shocking. But I guess when you've got a good job, Why quit it, huh? Why quit it? But what I didn't get is why did he leave WWE? Maybe that's something to find out. That will be interesting anyway. Shocking that he's still around though. It's good. He should be in the Hall of Fame. Anyway, Kurt Angle came out, and Kurt Angle was actually going to be fighting in this card. However, they've postponed it to next week because Kurt Angle, first of all, found out that it was Dixie Carter who actually said that it was Angle's family, which was in dire need of help, and that Angle had to go to the hospital. And quite frankly, Kurt Angle wanted explanation from Dixie. So Dixie came out, and quite frankly, she did a great job. An absolute amazing promo to Kurt Angle. She said she did it for him. She did it for him. She didn't want it. She knew how he was going to react. He would obviously come out and then get injured. Which, you know what, I would say is perfect. Because quite frankly, Kurt Angle, let's be honest, lately he's just been getting injured. And quite frankly, anybody who watches Kurt Angle, you can clearly, when you look at him, he doesn't look healthy. I'm sorry, Kurt, if you ever listen to this, but you don't look healthy. I think you need at least a year off. Relax a bit, let your body heal up, and then come back. Maybe, you know. But at present, you've just overworked yourself. Your body's just taken such a beating over the years, and quite frankly, you need a break. And she used that against him. And Kurt Angle said, "Look, if you're gonna fire me, then fire me. And if you're not gonna fire me, I'm gonna quit." And Dixie at that point perfectly intervened and said, "Look, you're being aggressive now. You're being aggressive. I'm gonna call security," and bam. But the thing is, Taz at that time was saying, "Oh, what is he doing wrong? He's not doing anything wrong." No, it wasn't Taz. It was the other guy, because Taz is obviously the bad commentator, isn't he? And but that was perfectly done. And then Bobby Roode came out, clotheslined Kurt from behind, and basically the security took him out. And at the end of that match, and well, it wasn't a match, but it felt like a match. At the end of that, they decided that next week Kurt Angle would be fighting Bobby Roode, because at present on that card he wasn't mentally stable to fight Bobby Roode, and she didn't want him to get injured as well, because he's been unreasonable. So that was the end of that, which is good to be true, and is, you know, looking good anyway. Now, there was a segment in the back with Dixie Carter talking to the Wolves. I don't know who these guys are, to be truthful. I've never heard of them. I never knew they had a following anyway. But apparently they do. And good luck to them, really. But apparently they have new contracts due to another investor in TNA Wrestling. And then Dixie Carter went on her phone trying to phone and find out who is the investor now. That would be interesting. We would all want to know that, don't we? We all want to know that, but we'll find out, I'm sure, and we'll find out, I'm pretty sure, by next week, and it will be awesome. So, last match on the road was Sting versus EC3. Now, wonderfully, I have to say one thing. They've built up EC3, or Eric Carter III, or Ethan Carter, sorry, Ethan Carter III, because apparently he's somebody's son of a son, and he's supposed third generation superstar and supposed to be superb awesome. To be truthful, I don't see anything special in him. I don't think he's gonna be huge. I hope he does, but there's no spark I've seen from him. None whatsoever. I mean, his purple trunks, what the heck? Why would you wear purple trunks? Are you trying to be a Prince wannabe or something? You know, what is with the purple trunks? And the intro is so like futuristic. is good. They've built him up very, very well, but the unfortunate thing is, and they've built him like he's like an Adonis as such, like Randy Orton, like in terms of um, like a Greek physique type of thing. And quite frankly, he doesn't. He's I personality-wise, it really stinks. I really don't think he's got it with him. Uh, But he can grow. He can grow from it, and he's getting the opportunity, which is what guys need. And I have to say, they're given a lot of opportunities to random people in TNA as opposed to WWE, where in WWE you don't even get the opportunity. I mean, how many times has Dolph Ziggler got on the mic? He has got the mic when he's got the mic, but he hasn't got the mic on a regular basis, so we can see his progression. Because he usually, when he gets the mic, he has good times, and he has a few bad times, but in general, I have to say they do give a lot of help to the young stars, and it's good. But the good thing, and another thing which they helped him with, was that they gave Rockstar Spud the the job as the special guest referee. He's basically Rockstar Spud is the he's the copied version of Brad Maddox in TNA wrestling. Clearly, that is the case. Anybody could tell that. And quite frankly, yes, halfway through the match, when Sting got him in a Scorpion Deathlock, which the sharpshooter, Rockstar Spud, jumped on Sting. And then, well, obviously the match didn't end there. And then when Sting did the Scorpion Death Drop, Rockstar Spud was getting forced to count him 1, 2, 3. EC3, that is. And what happened? Magnus came out and he pulled out Rockstar Spud, and then took off his blazer and shirt, and underneath it was the T-shirt of the referee. Referee T-shirt. So obviously he was a referee, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, EC3 got him in a inside cradle, and 1, 2, 3, and Sting lost the match. Sting lost the match. Who would have thought Sting would lose the match again? But Sting, being the stinger that he is, he's a great on the mic. Called out Magnus, saying, "You know what? You've betrayed me. You've betrayed our trust. We were gonna pick you for the new boy, and quite frankly, we were grooming you to be the next guy, but you betrayed us." And it kind of stung Magnus, which was good. Magnus said, "I don't owe you anything." Quite frankly, Sting went out and said, "I'll do anything." So Magnus came out and said, "Okay, how about this? You can fight for the World Championship." Because obviously Sting can't fight for the World Heavyweight Championship no longer due to him losing in Slamboree, apparently. So Magnus said, "Okay, you can have me a fight, and if you win that match, you can win the WWE, the World Heavyweight Championship. And if you lose, we tear your contract up, and that will be good." And quite frankly, and they both agreed on it. And that was the end of it. And you know what? I am so happy. I think, this is my opinion, I think Sting is going to lose that match next week. Sting is going to lose it, and he's going to be leaving. I think he's going to be going, hopefully, if he goes to the WWE. I think Sting needs to go now to the WWE for once in his life. For once in his he needs to do it. It's up to him at the end of the day. He doesn't have anything to prove. He doesn't have anything. He won't gain anything. Well, he will. in terms of his legacy, he will gain it. But personally, he may not gain anything. But as far as his legacy is concerned, the fact that he's never been in the WWE, that does. Quite frankly, everybody's been in the WWE who's been at the top, and the only guy who hasn't has been Sting, and I would like him to be in WrestleMania 30. I don't think it will happen. I wish it would happen. But I don't think it will happen because they've already got so many wrestlers as it is. They've got Batista coming back. They've got Brock Lesnar coming back. They've already got a lot of matches set up for WrestleMania, and they've got Undertaker as well coming back. So I think they're definitely not going to get Sting, but if they do, it would have been ideal. And don't forget, they got the Ultimate Warrior coming back as well. That would be, I mean, generally, I think Sting should sign with the WWE. I would love to see him in the WWE ring. I would love to see him in WrestleMania, because as well, if you notice as well, he's getting thin on his head in terms of his hair as well. He's losing hair. He's not getting younger, and I would like to see him go out with a bang, and not against Undertaker. I know a lot of people want him to fight Undertaker, but I don't want him to fight Undertaker because they're gonna make him lose at WrestleMania. Why would you want a Sting to lose at WrestleMania? They could make him fight anybody, any big up and comer wrestling one. They could fight anybody. One of the Shield members. Oh, that would be awesome. One of the Shield members. Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose, and win the US Heavyweight Championship. Can you imagine that at WrestleMania? And then next year he can go and fight Seth Rollins and build him up. Not Seth Rollins, what's his name? Roman Reigns. That would be awesome. I think in general Sting should just come back. Well, he's never been to WWE. I mean, he should just go to the WWE for once and finish his career there, because his legacy needs it. Hopefully they make a deal, and hopefully they do it right for Sting, because Sting has got a lot to give. Quite frankly, you can see him on the mic. It's not even like scripted so much, in my opinion. Whenever I see him talk, he's thinking on his feet so much, and he's very witty, and he's good with the mic, and he knows what to do. He's got the experience. He's got everything. He's still got it at this age. Just bring him back. But anyway, next week there is a second part of Genesis, which is weird again. This is the thing with TNA. I don't see any consistency. I don't know what's going on. You know, is TNA Impact Wrestling the Monday Night Raw? I think that is the case. But what is this Genesis? Is this like one main event? You know, such as like Elimination Chamber. But if it is, why is it split up between 2 weeks? What, you know, there's a lot of randomness going on, and I just don't get it sometimes with TNA wrestling. I think I do wish they had some consistency in terms of their programming, in terms of what they're doing. I don't even think they've done a TNA Impact this week. Well, I don't think they would have, really, to be truthful. Considering the fact that they've had to wrestle so much anyway during this week, during Genesis. But anyway, next week we have on Genesis Austin Aries versus Chris Sabin for the X Division Championship. That would be a great match, because it's the X Division, which is a cruiserweights, where they're flying like, I don't know, like flying things, and that will be amazing to watch. Then we've got Bobby Roode versus Kurt Angle in a steel cage match. I'm not excited about that, to be truthful, because Kurt Angle can't move like he used to, in my opinion. I remember him again in the heyday. Kurt Angle was the best technical wrestler of all time. He was, I will literally say, technical wrestler, out of technicality, I would say Kurt Angle was the best technical wrestler. Then I would say it would be Bret Hart after that. Um, AJ Styles, like I said last week, he was the best wrestler. But the thing is, because he does high flying and he does normal wrestling, but in terms of technical wrestling, AJ Styles not as good as Kurt Angle was. But anyway, that's another opinion. Now, yes, as well as that, next week we got James Storm. This is Gunner, which Gunner is put his money in the bank. It is the money in the bank, the TNA wrestling, up on the line, and whoever wins this, whoever takes the title from the top, will get the title shot. And we have Sting versus Magnus, so we'll find out if his contract does end and Sting leaves. To be truthful, I'll probably find that out earlier, but I'll keep you guys updated if I can. And but I have to say one thing. Yeah, please, thank you for listening to this. Please share, like, everything else. Please, thank you very much for listening to this, and add comments and everything else. Thank you. Have a great day. Peace out, everybody. I'm Soul, signing off, saying goodbye.